Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Books, and Rain. I'm Rachel with my coffee, with my books and my reviews, and a notebook to keep me on track today. No rain, but maybe in the next few days. I know we've had like a really cold snap, so maybe if it rains it'll snow, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. Yes, I'm wearing my big oversized sweatshirt, got my little warm cozy socks on, but snow, I don't live in Chicago anymore. I'm not feeling it just yet. But let's dive into the summary of The Bookshop Below by Georgia Summers. I'm going to be honest, I wanted to like this more than I did. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because there was so much potential. But anyway, let us dive into the summary. In this extraordinary standalone from the #1 Sunday Times bestselling author of The City of Stardust, a disgraced bookseller is offered the chance to restore a magical bookshop to its former glory and enters a dark underworld of unscrupulous collectors, deadly ink magic, and shady societies. If you want a story that will change your life, Chiron's Bookshop is where you go. For those lucky enough to grace its doors, it's a glimpse into a world of deadly bargains and powerful magical books. For Cassandra Fairfax, it's a reminder of everything she lost when Chiron kicked her out and all but shuttered the shop. Since then, she's used her skills in less ethical ways, trading stolen books and magical readings to wealthy playboys looking for power money can't buy. Power money can't buy. Then Chiron dies, and if Cassandra knows anything, it's the bookshop must always have an owner. To restore the shop, she'll need the help of Lowell Sharp, a rival bookseller who is everything Cassandra is not, and knows it too. But as she's plunged into a world of unscrupulous collectors, where I feel like we just said that, but that's okay. We did. We said that up there. We said the deadly ink magic and shady societies already. A force threatens to unravel the bookshop entirely. So it is about 384 pages. It is expected publication November 18th, 2025. So I do plan on trying to release this on or around that time frame to try to get back on track with my my release dates and close to like their publication dates. It is considered magic, urban fantasy, book about books, and a little bit of romance as well. So when I dove into this book, one of the things that I really liked was kind of this thought of, I guess, this bookshop below, hidden mystery. There's something with the way the words play out that made me think mysterious and secrets and things of that nature. So that was why I picked it up. I was like, I need to know more about this bookshop below. Well, we kind of start off in that direction, but then we kind of don't. Because we have Cassandra, who is, for lack of a better term, going down a different path than where she originally started. She has gone by the name of Cass something. Cass Holt? No. Yeah, Cass Holt, I think is what it was. And okay, so her name is Cassandra Fairfax, but she's now kind of being this sneaky person who goes by Cass Holt. And I'm like, that's not really imaginative. If you want a name where people can't figure out it's you, then let's figure out something else. Maybe we go by Andy. Maybe we go by something. But we don't just shorten Cassandra to Cass and imagine that our new name is going to pretend like nobody knows who we are in the past. And yet, for some reason, it's been working. Well, she is stealing books, magical books for people, and she's getting paid for it sometimes not. And we kind of see her at the very beginning where she's supposed to go and look at some books for this guy named Roth. And let's just say Roth is kind of a shady dude. He's a pretty crappy dude as well. And so she's already kind of got the hairs on the back of her neck like rising a little bit, is that she kind of feels pretty uncomfortable in this situation. She's like, something doesn't feel right. And yet she continues to go. Well, of course, Roth tries to ambush her, They get into a fight and she flees. Well, one of the only places that she can think to go at that particular time is Chiron's Bookshop. And it's a place where she almost grew up. But she left, or she was fired, when her and Chiron got into an argument and he more or less kind of kicked her out. And, I kind of wonder how that whole thing went down, but there's a lot to this particular book that kind of drove me crazy. It's not a bad book. I don't know. Cassandra is not one of those characters that I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're gonna make it. I don't know. I don't care if a character is not likable, but I still need to have some reason to cheer for them. And she is so self-deprecating throughout this entire book that it almost pisses me off. Like, come on, look, I get it. We have those moments. We all go through something that's really hard. We have some trauma from it. We grow, but hopefully, I know from personal experience, depression sucks. I have gone through that. I have been diagnosed with it. Look, depression sucks. It is awful. So I get it. I do. It hits everybody individually, but she is such an unhappy character. She's unhappy about everything in her life. So even when she kind of more or less comes into the ownership of Chiron's Bookshop after he passes, okay, she doesn't have to be like thrilled or happy or anything, but the level of unhappiness and self-deprecation and guilt and everything is so draining to read that I didn't really care. And I hate to say that. And so there is an aspect where this guy, Lowell Sharp, he comes into the picture, and Cassandra received like this letter from Chiron, more or less leaving her the bookshop. So if she goes and she signs her name as like the owner, then she'll be the owner. Well, Lowell also received like a letter from Chiron. I guess Chiron had a backup if for some reason Cassandra didn't follow through. And so Lowell appears at the bookshop, ready to take over, and he's been working at another bookshop, so he's kind of prepared. He's crazy organized. He's kind of like one of those guys who shows up in a suit even if it's not suit required day or something, like a little too formal. And they're on each other's very last nerve. So I get it. We're enemies to lovers situation here. Of course we are. But there is nothing about these two characters that I like. There was nothing about their personalities that I felt even meshed to be able to potentially have love interest. Like, I didn't see it. I don't know. Was it the angst? Was it the unhappiness from both of them? Because I don't think that's the best scenario to like build a relationship on. Just, I'm thinking. But Cassandra is technically the primary inheritor of this magical bookstore, and she also is what they call a reader. So if she reads, I guess, certain books, they almost come to life. And so at one particular moment, Lowell needs her help. He can't bring his bookshop's person because that person is busy. So he just brings Cassandra, and I just really didn't understand that. I just like, why? Like they have yet to have a positive interaction with each other, and yet he's bringing her along on this particular excursion to do something, which he does not explain in the least, and she just goes along with it. And I felt like nobody was talking to each other, and everyone was totally fine with just going along with stuff. But we're going to talk about it behind our backs, or behind everybody's back. Like, we're going to make comments about it, but we're still going to do it. So I was a little frustrated by that as well. So the concept of this book was really cool. But anyway, so her and Lowell go to this house, and it's kind of like, it looks like almost a castle with vines growing on it. So definitely get that picture of Sleeping Beauty in your head. I'm asking you to put that picture in your head. And so they go in, and they have to pretty much break the spell. The daughter was reading one of these fairy tale books that is magically imbued in some way, and I want to say it's because it was dipped in the river. So that's a whole nother thing that really kind of confused me, because at first I'm thinking, okay, Chiron as in, like, I was assuming the ferryman who you cross the river Styx. So in my entire mind, for most of the book, this is like the river Styx. Like, I couldn't really figure it out, but I guess it's not. It is like the river of like life or knowledge or something. But it was very it was very confusing for like a good chunk of the book, because I don't know if I missed it, but I certainly didn't understand fully the concept of this river, other than it's magically imbued. If you dip a book into it, it can imbue it with certain abilities, and people who read those books can also fall under the spell or the sway of the river's influence. So they have to go retrieve this book that was stolen from them, because right now it's making the entire family like sleep, and very, very Sleeping Beauty like. Again, the concept of this book is cool, and I think it was just not incredibly well executed for me. Because I thought there was so much potential, but there was too much, like I said, angst, guilt, self-deprecating comments, and even this other person, I'm just kind of looking, Shelley's Book Nook, she also found it hard to care about Cassandra, found her very one-dimensional. That's like, I don't feel like she grew from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. Like, I don't feel like as a character she really grew at all. We didn't really see her opening up or accepting other thought processes beyond herself, and some of that, I don't know. Because I don't even know, honestly. I was trying to see if anybody else mentions it, how old she was, because she acts like a teenager. She does not act like an adult woman who, like, is of sound mind and, logic. She sounds like when I read about her, I just picture her to be this moody, broody 16, 17-year-old, and yet I do perceive that she is intended to be older. But Lowell, I totally get him being like feeling like he's older. So, I mean, if there's a romance there, I assume that it's consensual and like not illicit with her being underage or anything. But anyway, so it was kind of hard to understand for me what the plot of the book was. What is our big question, our big fix, our big ultimate goal? What is it? Because I'm still not sure. Is it to save the river? Is it to save the bookshop? Is it to find Chiron's killer or figure out if he died of natural causes? Is it for Cassandra to grow as a person and become the bookshop owner she's supposed to be? I don't know. I mean, I finished this book about 2 days ago, and I sat here for a minute trying to figure out what was the ultimate goal of this book. And I'm not sure. So I'm just reading, and there's a Ricarda, and they said the book was overall fine, not as magical as it could have been. A big part of the story was about revealing Cassandra's past, and all of that was solid, but not really what I wanted from this story. And I mean, yeah, like if that's all we were really trying to do, then I guess we did that. But that, like, revealing someone's past or making them tell the people around them who they were. Not sure that's really what we need to put as the crux of our story. Like, I'm not sure a plot that makes. Not 100%. But there were some parts that I really enjoyed. Like I said, I liked Lowell, even though he felt very straight-laced and clean-cut and a little too sharp around the edges, but that's fine. His last name is Sharp, so I mean, I guess I get it. We have Lowell's older brother Edmund, or maybe his younger brother Edmund, who is he's kind of an asshole. And then we have Byron, who is someone who works in the bookshop of, I guess, Cassandra's, you could say. So she's like a bookseller. And then, so there are a couple of secondary characters that I really did like, who felt dynamic and felt enjoyable to read about. But then, again, I didn't get as much magic as I was kind of looking forward to. And they talked about ink magic, but I don't feel like it was really described well for me, and I kind of wanted to know more about that. And there are something called paradox books that we don't really get to access too much, but yet, here we are. We get to talk about them, but we don't really, from what I remember. And again, I mean, it's been 2 days and I sat there for a long time trying to figure it out. I don't feel like we ever actually either accessed one or we, anything like that. We just talked about them. I was one other person, May, M-A-I. She said she would have loved more of the cozy, atmospheric sense of the magical bookshop. Completely agree. Because, again, the magical part, I feel like really was part of the part that was selling me on it. These books that make things come to life. Like when the scene with the girl reading the Sleeping Beauty book and she's asleep with the book and they have to go retrieve the book so they can break the spell. Like, that was pretty cool. But this person also says some of the general day-to-day details and setting felt underutilized. Fair. And that might have been due to the book's larger mystery plot. But I don't know what the mystery was. What is it? Cassandra's past? Is that still what we're working on? Like, is that the mystery? I don't know. That's where, okay, book wasn't half-baked. If the book wasn't half-baked, okay. So, fair enough. A lot of people are kind of feeling what I was feeling as well. I'm probably going to give this closer to about a 3.75 stars. I was entertained. It's definitely not one of the worst I've read. I was pretty engaged to kind of know what was going to happen. But I can do without romance. That's fine. Honestly, it just felt a little forced in this particular situation, but that's my thoughts. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys decide if this is a book that you all are interested in. Honestly, if you like books about books, if you like fantasy and you like a little bit of mystery, this could be a good one. Just be aware that, the underlying or overarching, I'm not exactly sure which, theme of mystery is never fully fleshed out. But that's my personal thoughts. But with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't liked and subscribed, I hope you will consider it. And I will see you all on the next page. Have a great one. Bye.